Every cat owner wants their feline companion to live a long, healthy, and happy life. Yet one of the most critical decisions what to feed your cat is often overlooked or misunderstood. Walk into any pet store, and you will find rows upon rows of dry kibble marketed with colorful packaging and bold health claims. But the science tells a different story. When it comes to truly nourishing your cat, wet food holds a decisive research-backed advantage. This is not mere opinion, it is rooted in the biology, evolutionary history, and physiology of the domestic cat. To understand why wet food matters so profoundly, we must first travel back in time thousands of years to the sun-scorched deserts of the Middle East and North Africa, where the domestic cat's wild ancestors roamed and hunted. The African wildcat, Felis sylvestris libica, the progenitor of every house cat alive today, evolved in an environment where standing water was a rare luxury. As a result, cats developed a remarkable biological adaptation. They evolved to extract most of their moisture not from drinking, but from the bodies of their prey. This evolutionary heritage left today's domestic cats with what scientists call a low thirst drive, a reduced physiological urge to seek out and drink water. A dog will lap water enthusiastically from its bowl. A cat often ignores the same bowl for hours. This is not stubbornness or quirky cat behavior. It is simply biology doing what billions of years of evolution designed it to do. The consequences of ignoring this biology are significant. Dry kibble, the most commonly fed cat food, contains only around 10% moisture. Wet food, by contrast, contains 75 to 80% moisture, a figure that closely mirrors the composition of a mouse, a bird, or any other wild prey a cat would naturally catch and consume. When cats are fed exclusively on dry food, they often enter a state of chronic, low-grade dehydration. The dangerous part: they frequently show no obvious signs of thirst. The problem silently accumulates beneath the surface, setting the stage for serious health complications. Perhaps the most well-documented and clinically significant benefit of wet food concerns the urinary tract. Cats are highly susceptible to a cluster of conditions collectively known as feline lower urinary tract disease, FLUTD, an umbrella term covering urinary stones, crystal formati, inflammation, and in the most dangerous cases, complete blockages that can prove fatal within 24 to 48 hours if left untreated. The mechanism is straightforward. When a cat is chronically underhydrated, urine becomes abnormally concentrated. Minerals and proteins that would otherwise be flushed out regularly begin to crystallize and accumulate, forming the painful stones and obstructions that define FLUTD. High moisture intake directly combats this process by keeping urine dilute and the urinary tract flushed and clear. A landmark study published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery confirmed what veterinarians had long suspected. Cats fed wet food produce significantly greater urine volume at substantially lower concentration levels. This dual effect, more urine, less concentrated, creates a powerfully protective environment within the urinary system. The study concluded that high moisture diets serve as one of the most effective preventive shields against FLUTD. For cats with a history of urinary issues, the shift to wet food is often not just recommended, it is prescribed. Beyond hydration, there is another critical biological reality that dry kibble consistently ignores. Cats are obligate carnivores. Unlike dogs or humans, cats have no biological requirement for carbohydrates whatsoever. Their digestive systems, liver enzymes, and metabolic pathways are all calibrated for a diet built almost entirely from animal protein and fat. Carbohydrates, in any significant quantity, are essentially foreign to the feline body, yet many commercial dry foods contain carbohydrate levels of 40% or higher. This is not by accident. Carbohydrates from grains, corn and potatoes are cheap fillers that help dry kibble maintain its compact, shelf-stable shape. The metabolic cost to the cat, however, is steep. Excessive carbohydrates contribute to obesity, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes, conditions that are now alarmingly prevalent among house cats. Wet food, because it is formulated primarily from meat and fish, is naturally high in protein and low in carbohydrates, precisely the ratio a cat's body is designed to process. Research from the Waltham Pet Care Science Institute found that cats maintained on high-protein, moisture-rich diets display significantly leaner body compositions than those fed carbohydrate-heavy dry foods. The reason lies in what? Tea scientists call the satiety response protein is far more filling and satisfying to a cat's digestive system than carbohydrates. A cat that eats wet food simply feels full for longer and eats less overall. Interestingly, the benefits extend beyond the physical. Research published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior documented a fascinating behavioral shift in cats' transition to high-protein diets. They exhibited markedly reduced food-begging behavior. Cats that previously pestered their owners relentlessly for additional food became calmer, more satisfied, and less food-focused. For cat owners frustrated by a demanding pet, this finding alone may be reason enough to switch. A cat's coat is one of the most visible indicators of its internal health. A dull, brittle, or patchy coat often signals nutritional deficiencies, while a glossy, dense, and lustrous coat speaks to a body that is well nourished at the cellular level. Wet food's rich profile of animal-based proteins and essential fatty acids provides precisely the building blocks that skin and fur require. A study published in the Journal of Nutritional Science confirmed this connection directly. Cats maintained on high protein, moisture-rich diets demonstrated measurably shinier fur and healthier skin compared to control groups fed standard dry food. Omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids abundant in quality wet foods play a crucial role in maintaining the skin's protective barrier, reducing inflammation, and supporting the continuous growth of strong, well-pigmented hair follicles. Beyond aesthetics, healthy skin serves as the body's first line of defense against infection and environmental irritants. A cat with well-nourished skin is less prone to scratching, hot spots, and dermatological conditions, issues that are far more common than most owners realize, and that frequently go unaddressed until they become severe. The benefits of wet food are only fully realized when it is stored and served properly. Unlike dry kibble, which can sit in a bowl for hours without spoiling, wet food is perishable and requires attentive handling. Below are the essential rules every cat owner should follow. Rule action: required room temperature. Do not leave wet food out at room temperature for more than 1 to 2 hours. Bacteria multiply rapidly in warm, moist conditions, making the food unsafe to eat. Refrigeration: aerate any leftover wet food immediately after opening. Use within 48 hours for optimal safety and palatability. Serving temperature: cats prefer food at body temperature, mimicking freshly caught prey. Gently warm refrigerated wet food before serving. Fussy eaters in particular will respond far more enthusiastically to a warm meal. The evidence for wet food is not ambiguous. It speaks clearly, consistently, and across multiple dimensions of feline health. From the fundamental biology of a desert-adapted species that cannot adequately hydrate from a water bowl alone, to the scientifically documented benefits for urinary health, weight management, coat quality, and even behavior, wet food aligns with what a cat's body actually needs. Dry kibble is convenient and inexpensive, but convenience for the owner can come at a considerable cost to the cat. The good news is that the switch to wet food does not have to be abrupt or complicated. Many veterinarians recommend a gradual transition over 1 to 2 weeks, mixing increasing proportions of wet food into the existing dry diet until the changeover is complete. Your cat cannot read a research paper or advocate for its own nutritional need. That responsibility falls to you. Armed with the science, the choice becomes clear. Feed wet, feed well. Give your cat the diet its biology demands and watch the difference it makes.